What's up, everybody? It's me, E-Man from E-Man's Movie Reviews. We are here to talk about Season 1, Episode 5 of From. I am going to give you my review. I'm going to recap it, break it down, give you some theories and some clues about this episode. And the last time we left off, Sara is still nuts. And apparently she has a bad case of eczema and really wants to kill Ethan. Oh, and Victor, he was just digging a whole bunch of graves. Everything is normal. Everything is fine. All right, let's jump right into this episode. Christy is taking care of Sara, but Sara doesn't want to see her brother Nathan, who just wants to come and check up on her. Boyd comes in to check on Sara and avoids talking to Christy about his hand tremors. So instead, he then goes outside and keeps Nathan away from seeing Sara. At the Matthews residence, Jim is creating a board on the wall for his family to start asking questions and try to figure things out together. Nathan sits at home looking at his sister's clothes, which are drenched in blood. Okay, Boyd, this is what I'm talking about. Asking the right questions. I like the fact that he was able to recognize that, hey, you know what? Did these seizures happen with Sara before? Okay. They're saying that it's the first time, but I like the fact that he's connecting that with Ethan, who also had a seizure as well, if you recall earlier on. So I like the fact that he's kind of putting two and two together, that maybe when you come around this place in this town, some weird things are going to happen. And honestly, at this point, the weirdest options might actually be the right answer. Now, let me say, man, I love what my man Jim is doing right now. This is exactly what I need more people in this place to do. However, Jim is working a little too small. I know you sitting here making this wall and everything with all these questions on your house wall or whatever. Bruh, I'm going to need you to take that outside, go to the town hall or whatever, and have a big old group meeting. This can't be something that y'all just do on y'all wall. You need to do this with the whole town. Okay, and you look, use a whole side of a house. I don't care, but man, I like where you're going with it. I just need you to think bigger. Now, as for Nathan, man, you know he knows that his sister is crazy, but unfortunately, it feels like Nathan knows a little too much. And if you've watched any type of horror, you already know the people that know too much, well, it don't end up very well for them. Christy and Sara start to catch up and have a little girl talk. Sara asks Christy why her and Kenny don't hook up, but she said that she was engaged to someone else, in her past. Sara mentioned that she also was with someone, but now it's just her and her brother. She asked Christy a hypothetical question about doing one bad thing to send everyone home. Christy says, yeah, that's probably fine if it's gonna save everyone else. So it sounds like Sara might have been like in an abusive relationship of some sort. It looks like Nathan was the one that actually came in and saved her. Maybe that's why Nathan is so protective of her. And I think the obvious guess here is that she probably had some abusive ex-boyfriend. So Sara's question is tapping into a very famous philosophical situation or a moral question, right? Is it right to sacrifice the few to save the many?
The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
And I think the best way to think about it would be to use the trolley dilemma. If you've ever seen the show The Good Place, they show a great demonstration of this. Do you kill one person to save 5, or do you let 5 people die to save 1? The question becomes way more complex when you add more context, like do you save the president of the country versus 10 inmates that are on death row? Now, Christy in this case gave a very utilitarian answer, basically saying that the needs of the many do outweigh the needs of the few. And that kind of seemed to give Sara the green light to follow through with the devious thing that she's about to do, thanks to the voices in her head. We find Jade walking around town with the radio, and he enters the bar. He starts to go off and keeps talking until the bartender tells him to just go figure out how to make the radio work. Now, Jade was doing a lot of rambling before he walked into the bar, and he was kind of throwing out these different theories and stuff. And I'm not going to really pretend to know exactly what he was talking about, and it's gonna be kind of hard to communicate that. I was not a physics major or anything like that. I took physics, don't get me wrong, I was decent, but some of the stuff was a little highbrow. And one of the things that he did talk about was the Einstein Podolsky Rosen paradox, I think it's called. And from the little bit of research that I was able to do about it, and hey, if anybody smart out there can explain it better, please let me know in the comments. But all I know is, or from what I could take from it, was that this has something to do with quantum physics and entanglement. And no, I'm not talking about that kind of entanglement, you big nasties. Now, physics aside, I did appreciate some of the philosophy that took place here because I did do a lot of philosophy in school. So the whole concept of Schrodinger's cat definitely made some sense to me. And I'll see if I can try and make it make sense for you, just in case if anybody was lost, and how it actually applies to this town situation. So the whole concept behind this analogy with Schrodinger's cat can be a bit jarring for some, so you'll have to kind of use your imagination a little bit here. But this is basically a thought experiment that says if you put a cat in a box, and let's say you put a little poison in the box and close it up, you wouldn't know whether that cat is alive or dead from the poison until you actually reopen the box. So in a sense, the cat is both dead and alive until you open the box to confirm. You can think back to Ant-Man 3, where Scott Lang was in the quantum storm and every possibility of himself kept multiplying out. It's basically the same concept. So for the case of this show, the people are the cat, the town is the box, and the poison are the monsters. Now, the people outside the town are wondering, are the people in the town still alive? But according to this concept, they're both alive and dead. They have no way of knowing. Again, the people outside the town, they don't know if they're alive or dead. So basically what the bartender Tom was telling Jade was like, look, if you can get the radio to work, that's going to be just like the cat inside the box telling the people on the outside that we are alive, and therefore busting up that paradox or that mystery. I hope that made some sense. Boyd visits his wife's grave. He says that he plans to help the townspeople, but if he fails, it's going to put everyone in a far worse position. He begs her for a sign to just help him out. Nathan goes off to find Father Khatri and confesses to him about what's been going on with Sara. Meanwhile, Sarah's over at the Matthews place and offers to take Ethan to see the farm animals. Tabitha noticed that Ethan's wound is healing up really fast and decides to go with him and Sara. At the farm, Sara traps Tabitha in a room. She then takes out a scalpel and tries to kill Ethan. That is until Nathan quickly jumps in to stop her. Unfortunately, during their struggle, Sara swipes at Nathan's throat and kills him. Now, I know they said that Ethan was healing up real fast, but my man was up when Sara tried to kill him. Did y'all see him running away like that? I was like, bro, okay, I guess you did heal up real fast. Now, I do have something to say about that. We're going to save that for the end of the video, so make sure you stay tuned for a big clue right there. I mean, Sara just seems to be, I don't know, a little slow, maybe, or a little naive. I mean, it looks like she is trying to do the right thing, but listening to these weird voices in her head, I mean, it's weird, you know, and I don't think she can really tell the difference between the two of whether they're actually doing or leading her to do the right thing or the wrong thing. I mean, you would think that maybe she didn't get the message the last time. I mean, you killed a whole bunch of people and that clearly did not work out for the better. But, you know, I guess we're going to have to wait and see because we don't really know the motive behind these voices. Again, are these voices good? Are they evil? I don't know. I do have a theory about that. So I do want you to make sure that if you have not by now, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you turn on those notifications because once I'm done recapping this season and probably season 2, I am going to drop some theory videos that are going to go back and possibly give you some answers to questions just like that. Jim wants justice for Sara's actions. Boyd and Father Khatri say that they'll handle Sara, but she ran off into the woods. Back at the Matthews residence, Tabitha writes her question on the wall. After visiting his wife's grave and asking for a sign, Boyd hears the song on the radio and believes this was the sign he was looking for. You know, I thought Tabitha's questions were actually pretty interesting for a couple of reasons. I mean, she asked, you know, if they even survived the car crash or the RV crash when it, you know, went off road. But, you know, at this point, I would say that all questions are viable. You know, given all the crazy things we've seen, you got to ask these kind of questions, and you can't just toss them out and be like, that's crazy. Oh, whatever. No, maybe you did die. We don't know. Not yet anyway. Second thing to consider is that the showrunners of this, they were involved with the show Lost that was on ABC. And I didn't watch Lost, so, you know, I didn't really know, but the show is really old, so spoiler alert. But apparently the people or the characters, they were like dead all along or something and maybe stuck in purgatory. I don't know. All I know is people didn't really like the ending or whatever. But I do wonder if this is a way for the showrunners to kind of throw that theory out there again, and maybe it's to throw people off the trail, or maybe they're gonna borrow that same exact theme or that same storyline and, I don't know, just kind of make it a little bit different, maybe even better. Now, as for the song playing on the radio, it clearly was a song that Boyd was familiar with, but I'm going to give you my theory about that in just a little bit, so hold on tight real quick. And then, of course, we have Christy, who's harboring all this guilt because Sara got the scalpel from her, you know, clinic or whatever. I personally don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't think she needs to hold on to that guilt, but Christy probably will anyway. But whatever. This is the point in time where I'm going to give you guys a little bit of clues to kind of remember for this episode and for the series moving on. Now, one thing that stuck out to me, and I do think is going to be very important, is look at Ethan's wound. That thing was healing up very quickly. I mean, he did have a whole object protruding through his leg earlier on, and now he's able to just walk and run pretty decently, you know, and I'm not sure about this yet because it is a little odd, but it kind of gives me the impression that this place and time works very differently, right? So like, just kind of pay attention to how time works in this place. So, you know, let's pay attention to clocks. Let's pay attention to the days, maybe seasons or whatever. But time here clearly does not work the way I think it does. Either that or maybe one of the weird reactions of this place is you just heal up real fast. I don't know. You let me know what you think in the comments below. Now, one other thing to think about is, again, and I've told y'all this before, pay attention to what Ethan says. He said that this place is kind of special, right? But he said that, yeah, the place does try to hurt people, but maybe, just maybe, it might be there to help. And is anyone trying to help? That was his question for the board. Something to think about. All right, this is the point where I'm going to give you my rating for this episode. I thought it was a good episode, a good amount of drama, especially with Sara and, you know, the whole going nuts thing, going after Ethan and all that. You know, and some thought-provoking, you know, philosophical stuff. So for me, you know, and I don't know how you guys feel, I'm probably going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. I think I'm cool with that for now. Again, wasn't like a earth-shattering episode, but at the same time, you know, Sara's nuts. So Sara is clearly driving this story so far with her listening to the voices. Again, the questions are who or what is talking to her. I don't know. But anyway, what did y'all think about this episode? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, this is finally the point where if you have watched this series already, I need you to hold on because I got a couple things I got to talk to you about. If this is your first time watching From, and I'm talking about you have not finished the series yet, you still got to watch episode 6 and on, you need to get off this video. Come back later if you want, but I'm going into very, very deep spoiler territory, and I'm talking only to people that are all the way caught up or who have already binged the series. So that's your final warning. All right. Now let's kind of go back to what Ethan was saying, because once again, Ethan and everything he says is really important.
Maybe that can be one of the questions on the wall.
What would that be?
Is there anyone trying to help?
And I've been thinking that it's possible one of the major things people have to do here is not only go on a quest, because Ethan talked about going on a quest plenty of times, right? But are they trying to help as well? And if you're asking, is anyone trying to help? Well, the next question you have to ask is, well, help who? Like, who are you trying to help? And who are the people that are supposed to give the help, right? So I think the help that they're probably hinting at might be the weird powdery ghost kids or whatever that we see in season 2, or maybe even the boy in white. Maybe the boy in white needs some help because if I'm not mistaken, Sara had also talked about how, and this was like in season 2, Sara had talked about how like the boy in white might be trapped and he doesn't know how to get out. So maybe the people are in the town because they got to help these ghost kids or whatever. I don't know. You let me know what you think about that. Now, one other thing to really think about is the clue with the song that was playing on the radio. So this song, if I'm not mistaken, was called If I Had My Boat. If I Had My Boat. And it references going out on the ocean if you listen to the lyrics and stuff. Now, there are two things to consider with this. We know at the end we encounter a lighthouse, right? And in one of Victor's drawings, it does show people in boats. Now, what all that means is anyone's guess, because I don't know what it could be, but it might be foreshadowing something. And Ethan did say that sometimes this place might be trying to help people. So is the way home via water and boats? I don't know. But again, y'all let me know what you think. Anyway, that's all I got for this video. I appreciate y'all taking the time to watch. I really, really do. Make sure you stay tuned. I am going to continue breaking this down. So make sure you go check out my episode 6 recap and review. And make sure you go watch all my other videos as well. I got some more interviews from the cast. You don't want to miss that. And like I said, very soon, once I'm done recapping and doing all these seasons, I will be dropping more theory videos specifically to answer the big questions. So until next time, I will see you guys later. If you're new here and you like what you see, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell so you don't miss out the next time I drop a video. I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you all later.